what's up, guys? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Tell us who you are, what you guys do.
Start with myself. I'm Alex. I'm a co-founder here at Code Crew. This guy, he's going to introduce himself in a sec. He's also a co-founder.
Yeah, I'm Andrei, and we're an email marketing agency. We're a team of 40 right now. Have been in the space for the past 6 years as an agency, and then Alex and myself both probably a couple decades worth of combined experience in the space. Too long to really want to be honest about it anymore. I think it's been too long.
And why'd you guys start the agency? How'd you get into this?
It was quite the journey. We actually met at an agency, working together. We were on the tech team, and we saw, inefficiencies, areas we could improve. We figured, hey, there's some space to create, and felt we could do a better job. And here we are 6 years later. And I think that we're really living up to that mission.
What's been the biggest shocker of owning your own agency coming from working for someone else?
Man, honestly, how cutthroat everybody can be. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we came into the space a bit kumbaya, wanting to make sure that the world is a better place around us, wanting to make sure that, we kind of have a business for good initiative from the very get-go. And it worked tremendously in some parts, but then it failed in an epic way in some other parts. And, business is kind of one of the things that has kind of hit us over the foreheads when it came down to, again, how cutthroat some of the people can be over a couple $100, like over money that we wouldn't even begin to think about. We've lost some really interesting friendships throughout the years.
Clients or employees?
Mostly clients, but it's all around. But yes, mostly clients for sure.
So do you think maybe you took on the wrong clients then? If they're
100%. We always try really hard to call clients and to make sure that we work with people that we think are truly good people at their core, but we talk to them maybe 3-4 hours before signing them. So you can't pretend to know everything about a person in 3-4 hours of talking to them. So inevitably you still get some rotten apples in there.
I always look at it. There's no such thing as a bad agency client. There's only a bad prospect or a bad process. And a lot of times it's a bad prospect. Like if someone's bitching at me over $100 here and there, I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I was like, all right, you just go away.
Yeah, well, sometimes we even have, clients or leads that come through the pipeline and they're fantastic, but then we get a new point of contact and, everything shifts. So it's a dynamic environment for sure. But at the same time, it's kind of like first date, second date, you don't really know the person until you move in with them. And lo and behold, that's who they end up being too. So it's a fun process.
What's been the hardest thing at growing and scaling the agency?
Oh, I'd say actually, Andrei, you said this, I think maybe 4 years ago. And, when we were first building the agency, I was thinking that can't be the most difficult piece, but I think that it actually has been, was finding and retaining really good talent. I think finding really good talent is really, really, really difficult. And then, being able to bring in more and more folks who really are truly amazing, not just in their skill set, but also to work with as people. Again, we always want to work with people who we could be friends with, if I'm being honest.
How do you find the best talent now?
It's still a difficult process. I'll tell you that. We try to, poke and prod team members, see if they have any friends who are interested. Honestly, we have a few recent team members who came through that channel, and I'd say I'm looking forward to seeing how they evolve. I think they're going to be really, really good folks.
Yeah, I think the biggest quote unquote innovation, because we started it a long, long time ago, but it's a lot more standard process nowadays, has been to just make sure that we request videos from everybody that we interview way before we interview them. And, we went from jumping on interviews where within the first 3 minutes, you knew that was an incredibly bad fit, but you still needed to be somewhat respectful to that person's time and still sit with them through the interview for a whole 40 minutes, at times, to now, obviously, we do have to probably review 100, 200 videos per job role that we put out there. But at the end of the day, reviewing a 5-minute video or sitting in an interview with somebody for 40 minutes are two complete different action items. And sometimes even within that video recording, maybe within 45 seconds to a minute and a half whether or not that person would be a qualified individual for the role that you're looking for, especially, depending on maybe that role is to be a salesperson, maybe it's to be client facing. And some things from attire to maybe even the way that they dressed or the way that they talk, the way that they present themselves can be immediate flags, and you can either qualify or disqualify somebody that way.
Yeah. So is that the only mousetrap that you guys put out, is just to send a video?
We have a test. We have a lot, but I do think that the video has probably helped us the most. In all honesty, it's kind of weeded out people who wouldn't have as much initiative to even get the video started to begin with, and then you see that they could, in a client-facing role, especially, not quite have what it takes, to put it bluntly. So I think that that's the biggest and best mousetrap that we had, but we do have quite a few.
Yeah, but then to talk about the test, and for some reason, I think we went a bit too far, because I think right now to get fully qualified for an interview, you probably need to dedicate at least 2 hours of your life to actually show us that you're dedicated. But yeah, the test probably takes an hour and a half right now to go through, and there is a technical part. There is kind of a way you think part as well. There are a couple of trick questions in there as well, so that we can really identify if you're a thinker or just Googling things, because obviously Google or AI now can easily resolve a test for you in minutes. So we want to see if you're above and beyond just solving some questions, you actually get to work on thinking and researching and putting your head to good use before we jump on an interview with you.
Are you looking for a strategic, reliable, white label partner to scale your agency business? E2M is the #1 white label partner for digital agencies when it comes to web design, web development, e-commerce, SEO, and content writing. Now, E2M is a trusted partner by over 150 agency partners, and they've been providing white label services to agencies for over a decade with a team of 170 plus experts. E2M is on a mission to help 500 plus agency owners increase their revenue and profit margins with impactful white label services. Check out their transparent and flexible white label pricing model at e2msolutions.com/smartagency. E2M is currently running a special discount for 10% off for the first 3 months, available for a limited time. So go check them out right now.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done and we tell all of our agency owners in our community to do is, like, you'll post a job on a job board, and like whether it be on LinkedIn or Indeed or wherever, and you have a bunch of jackasses that just go apply, apply, apply. They don't even know what they're applying to, which is just wasting my fucking time. And it aggravates the hell out of me,
Yeah.
because you're going to get 700 applications. And then I have to look through these dipshits, and it just pisses me off, and it takes a lot of time. And then you get to the interview process, and it's just like, oh, this is horrible. So in order to save that amount of time and to take 700 down to like 5, I basically say, do not apply on this site. And I put this at the bottom. So if they don't read it, right, like, it's easy. So I just ignore all the applications that come in. I just laugh at it. I say, you must apply via email, and you must put this in the subject line exactly. And you must send an under 4-minute video. So if they apply on Indeed or LinkedIn, I ignore it. If they don't have that in the subject line, I ignore it and delete it. If they have that in the subject line and they didn't put a video in it, I delete it, because these idiots can't pay attention and they don't follow directions. And then if they're over 4 minutes on the video, I delete it because they didn't follow instructions. Then I know within the first minute of watching the video. So I've only spent 5 minutes and I went through 700 applications.
You got it, Cole. I mean, we felt the same at the very beginning. We were getting so many applicants, and we still do, actually. We have a couple of active roles where you have, again, mousetraps within the post. We had a post, I think, up about a month ago for project management role. And in the post itself, it also said, hey, reply, make sure this specific keyword is in your reply. And lo and behold, a lot of people didn't follow that instruction. And I mean, for your team, you need people who can think thoroughly, read thoroughly, digest and apply what they've been taking in.
Yeah. And it's just because time is the biggest thing that is the most important thing to me and other people, which a lot of times people ignore that. And they think money is the biggest thing. They'll be like, oh, well, I don't want to pay someone to do this. And I'll pay someone to do anything I do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're only hiring in the US, but since we are a global company, we oftentimes look outside of the US as well. And I can't tell you how many CVs we receive in Spanish, in Russian, and who knows what other languages, because sometimes I don't even know what the language is. It's incredible how, to your point, how so many of these applicants don't even bother looking at anything past the title, basically.
Cool. So we talk about kind of finding the right people, and maybe let's talk about how do you keep your people? What's been working for you?
I think that that's a strong suit of ours. In all honesty, our team retention is just insane. I think the average team member has been around since maybe year 1 or 2, if I'm being honest. We just like to have fun. We're good people. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're working with people who align with our mission, our values, our goals. And I'd say I can't think of a single person on the team who doesn't. We have a lot of contests. We have a lot of fun, a lot of banter. We also understand at the end of the day, we're all here to work, to get things done, to satisfy our clients, to really just push the envelope as far as email marketing is concerned. So yeah, we all just believe in the same things as far as what's important in life and work and client satisfaction, really. And that's a little kumbaya.
And to put an actual action item on it, we also listen to them. So I think this actually came up in the second year of Code Crew's existence and got implemented probably in the fourth, where people were just wondering how working a 4-day work week would look like. And we always wanted to try it out, but obviously being a startup, you couldn't really figure that out in your whole process so that clients can be happy, team members can be happy, all of that. So last year, actually, we started going for summer Fridays, where everybody got 2 Fridays off a month for a period. I think we ran it for 4 months. And then this year we kind of up leveled that to be Fun Fridays, I think, is what we call them nowadays, because it went from February and it's going to last up until the end of September. Obviously, for us in the email marketing space, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the whole Q3 is really, really important. So we are not going to be able to have that entire portion of everybody's time be unavailable. We need all hands on deck for that period of time. But yeah, this was probably one of the biggest wins when it came down to everybody's love of Code Crew, if I'm being honest, as well as ours as well. Honestly, you can't imagine how much 2 days a month can do for your work-life balance. It's incredible.
Yeah, I haven't worked on Fridays in years. I call it Epic Fridays, where we go on adventures and climb mountains or jump out of planes or whatever it is. Try to do something pretty epic on Fridays. Fridays are very sacred to me and a lot of people. So glad you guys do that.
Love that. We need to start making them in the trips and whatnot. Have some real fun with
Yeah.
them.
Mandatory. If you don't jump out of a plane, you better be working that day.
Yeah, there might be some HR issues with that one, but I don't know. I didn't give you that advice. So.
It sounded like that to me.
And then for the ones that just aren't working out, you just don't give them a shoot. So you got to kind of figure it out.
Brilliant.
Well, this has all been a lot of fun. Thank you guys both for coming on the show and sharing what's working for you guys. And if you guys enjoyed this episode and you want to be around and hear other ideas from other agency owners, make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to take that even further and hang out with the best agency owners in the world, let me invite all of you to check out our community. Go to agencymastery360.com. Check it out. And until next time, have a swank day.